Can anybody hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, we are hearing you.
Okay. Okay. Let me just do a brief introduction and then we'll continue. We were called for this meeting by Dr. Don Pedro Obaseki. We all know him. He is the person who have worked with, others have worked with, to market or publicize or do some media work for PDP presidential candidates, His Excellency Alhaji Abubakar Atiku. He has one or two things he wants to talk to us about this evening, and I will crave your indulgence. And then, if possible, you can record the conversation so that you can have a fallback in terms of how you want to use the discussion going forward after the meeting. So, Dr. Basaki, we just do a brief introduction. All right, let's take, for those of us that are already online, please introduce yourself and the medium that you represent. Thank you.
Okay, good evening, sir.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Baba Martins from Daily Trust.
Yeah, please, the next person. Let's take it one by one like that.
Good evening, sir. Yeah, my name is Tony Ileman, Business Day.
Okay, my name is Azima Jimo, The Guardian.
Okay.
We are still waiting for 3 more people. John Alechenu of Vanguard, Chuk Sokocha of Disney, and Dirisu Yakubu of The Punch.
Okay. Okay. While Doctor will make some remark, you please try and see if you can reach them. Yeah.
Okay, gentlemen, my name is Dr. Don Pedro Obaseki. I sit here in 2 capacities. First, as the presidential campaign consultant to His Excellency Atiku Abubakar, and also for the PDP Presidential Campaign Council. I'm Director Planning and Strategy for the PDP Presidential Campaign Council for Atiku and the COA campaign organization. The major reason that I decided to be allowed to speak to my colleagues is simply that we have gone through a round of maybe the most dastardly skewed and most egregious election in the history of this country. I don't want to say since the return to democracy. This is a most accepted fact that this election was indeed brazenly rigged beyond all known ethics and ramification. However, what is a little disturbing in the media space, particularly in the social media space, is as if the election is stolen. But from who was it stolen from? There must be a frontline primary victim of the theft. So the first degree victim of that theft is my party and my presidential candidate, Atiku Abubakar. Secondly, we are aware that in Nigeria, since the independence of 1960, and since we became a republic in 63, no court has overturned even the most brazen elections before now. But all those elections pale in comparison with what has befallen Nigerians in the year 2023. So it is important that we put the Nigerian judiciary on notice that the justices of the Supreme Court and the justices of the Nigerian Court of Appeals, who are the primary and the final arbiters in this election imbroglio, we have to put them on notice. The onus lie upon them to look above the spirit and the letters of the law and the very, very marginalized feelings of every Nigerian, and do what is right, what is correct in the public domain, so as to save this country and save the sanctity of our Commonwealth. They must understand that the 2023 Presidential Election Tribunal proceedings is not just the petitioners and the respondents that are on trial. It is the Nigerian judiciary that is on trial. That is the reason why I called my friends as those who are the fourth estate of the realm, and those who must be the forebearers of the conscience of this country, so that we'll begin to talk and not be dwarfed in the noise of this theft, or those who do not have, who never even within the election results and the real elections, not the ones that Mahmoud Yakubu announced, and the implications therefrom of the functions officials position that has been taken by Mr. Mahmood Yakubu in pronouncing the APC presidential flag bearer the winner of this election. That is the reason I called everybody. And I'm willing to take any, without fear of favor, any question, regardless of its import. And I will try as much as humanly permissible to address them as succinctly as humanly permissible. Thank you. I was in the very fulcrum, the very engine room. I said I was in charge of strategy, from drafting to curating to monitoring the elections from all the 176,000 plus polling units across the country. I know who won, not only because the person is my principal, but because the truth has to be told. We can no longer continue in this vagrant disregard for our people. That is why I'm here.
Yes, sir. This is Romason. Like you said, that you know who is the real winner of the election. I don't know. We want to know if you say your principal is the winner of this election. Can you give us an inkling of like how many votes does it garner from your own calculation?
Yes.
I think is more than the person that was declared by INEC, and then maybe you can give us a background of what and how you arrived at those numbers going forward.
Thank you very much. The situation room of the PDP was tied to, without fear of favor, to every polling unit agent across the 176,800 polling units across the country. Not stopping there, we had automatic feedbacks via satellite and via all the networks to know exactly what the beavers' positions were at each of the polling units. We are also aware that following the now pretentious assurances from INEC, we knew that we cannot take all what they said to the bank. So we had fallback options so as to be able to follow this election from the day the votes are cast until they are uploaded, until they are announced. Myself and the Honorable Osita Chitoka, the former Minister for Aviation, I was Director of Strategy, he was Director of Election Intelligence. We have put in place all the visceral necessities to be able to monitor these elections. And that is why I can authoritatively state, without fear of favor, that the minimum garnered by, in fact, let's put it, the results of ATIKU'S Abubakar were more or less vagrantly swapped and given to Mr. Bola Ahmed Tinubu. That is a statement of it. So if I say now that as at 170,000 polling unit results at the midnight of the 26th of February, that is the day after the election, Atiku had already crossed 8.7 million votes concretely, and we were leading and having the requisite spread in 27 states of the federation. So if anybody was declared the first line winner in terms of total vote cast in this election, it would have been His Excellency Atiku Abubakar. And you can also see, even in spite of the skewed results that were proclaimed by INEC, our presence and spread across the outside of us, apart from the southeast, where we came out a distant second, we had the requisite spread, winning Osun State, winning 2 states of the south, winning 3 states of the north central, and of course sweeping, apart from Kano State, the entire northeast and the northwest. These are statements of fact. You are, as someone who, as persons who are stakeholders in the election matrix, that as at the midnight of the 26th of February, the day after the election, everybody knew that Atiku was well ahead, until devilish Mephistophelians, persons who are bent on dwarfing the collective will of our people and stealing our commonwealth and the mandate so freely given, started changing figures. I keep wondering why most of the press have not been asking questions. Why are we having 51,602 mutilated results? What was the reason why Mr. INEC, Mr. Mahmood Yakubu, would hurriedly announce results when more than 70% of the polling units were still not uploaded by beavers on the INEC portal, on the IREV. Why was the rush? Why was the chairman of INEC be the one to tell Nigerians go to court? Go to court. It means that he wanted to do what we call in law functious officio. That is, declare a new status quo so that everybody will be battling to go to court irrespective of the illegality that had happened. So now, I'll give a very simple example. In Zamfara State, in one of the local government areas, Atiku had 46,070 votes. Mr. Bola Ahmed Tinubu had 32,006 votes. And they were written in black ink, black Bible. And in the beavers, go and check it. The uploaded results, a blue pen, blue, was used in striking out the zero from Atiku's 46,070, while using the same blue Bible to add zero to Mr. Bola Ahmed Tinubu's 3,206. Immediately, the election results in that very area of Zamfara was immediately upturned by men of darkness, by men who wants to see this nation that is already sitting on a keg of gunpowder implode. And what do you now have? A man who scored and a party who scored 46,070 is suddenly deleted to read 4,607, while the party that scored 3,006, a zero is added, and the election result in that place is turned to 32,060. That is a humongous, monumental, devilish act by anybody. So now Nigeria is becoming the laughing stock of all Committee of Nations, simply because a simple civic duty earnestly engaged in by millions of Nigerians had been stolen by a Mephistophelian few who are bent on foisting on our nation a rulership, a dictatorship via the pretenses of the ballot box. This must be heard. Now, if, for example, we have a situation of this nature, what will a recognized electoral body do? Like they did in certain pockets, only where it didn't favor their preferred candidacies. You will stop the election as it is written in the Electoral Act, as it is prescribed in the Constitution of our country. That aside, why was there the rush, in spite of the fact that even in their skewed results, which gave Mr. Tinubu less than 37% in their already skewed results, disenfranchising 63% of Nigerians? Why would you jump to announce Tinubu when he did not even meet the basic constitutional requirement of having 25%, a quarter of the votes cast in 2/3 or 24 of 36 states, and a quarter of the votes cast in the Federal Capital Territory of Abuja? These are issues that we should be questioning and putting in the public domain. Whether or not the court proceedings have started or not is of lesser consequence, because me talking about the election will not make it sub judice. I'm not sub judice, because I am not a direct party. I'm not the petitioner, neither am I the petitioned. And you have to be the petitioner or the petitioned for you to be sub judice. If not, the Donald Trump, who is being arraigned now before, who is just been indicted by the grand jury of New York, we will not be seeing it on television. So these are issues. It's as if the elections came, the elections went, stolen, brazenly so, and this purported winner, 3 weeks gone by, Nigerians don't know who he is, where he is, what is about him. A man is supposed to be in the public domain, and the press is silent. Nigerians are silent, and what is left is because when the business days of this world, when the AIT's channels, Daily Trust, Vanguard of this world, when the Guardian newspapers of this world, the Punch, and all the non-traditional, empirical, trusted media of this world decide to play the ostrich and be silent, as a communicator, life abhors a vacuum. And as a result of that, people are inundating social media with mountains and mountains of misinformation, disinformation, and the collateral damage